well, how can I help myself? That's all I'm asking. I know the people are gonna go do it. I can get the time when they gonna go do it. So y'all can kick him in the ass. The person y'all just think that I just tell me anything. He wants him.
I plead the fifth.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I get you to step outside to your headquarters of jury deliberation, please? Mr. Copeland, given the fact that you have invoked your Fifth Amendment privilege, but the state has already given you immunity under 24-5-507, this court holds you in willful contempt, and we'll see you on Monday. And we'll see if we can get some more testimony at that point in time. Take him into custody.
Oh man, so the state attorney's office in the YSL RICO trial, the Young Thug trial, they are in shambles after the star witness refused to testify and he's not being taken to jail. Now this comes after many years of feeding these boys information, you feel me? We've even seen viral videos of Lil Woody in the interrogation room telling the detectives everything they wanted to know about Young Thug, to pass responsibility and get himself lesser times for some crimes, you feel me? But things were much different when you actually gotta look that man in the face and go ahead and tell on him. Now the day began like a clown show, man. I don't know if this dude was trying to play dumb or if he is dumb. I'll let y'all be the judge of that, but the real judge, he was trying to explain to dude that he has immunity, okay? He has immunity. So if he testified, nothing that he says will have him sent to jail, even if he implicates himself in a crime. He's good. But if he pleads the fifth, which is what he was trying to do, he'll be held in contempt, be arrested, all right?
All right, Mr. Copeland, your counsel, Mr. Melnick, have you had an opportunity to talk with him about testifying today?
Yes.
All right. Has the state provided you a letter of immunity or a copy of the order that I have signed directing that they give you use immunity?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of it?
Yes.
All right. Can we see that, please? Can I? I need 2 copies of it. Actually, 3.
You're signed.
Not yet, sir. Doesn't apply to you yet, Mr. Steele. But it is going to be part of the record, Mr. Steele. I haven't filed it yet under Odyssey. I don't think it's made the Odyssey system quite yet. So, anyways. Huh?
We have a proposed order.
But I signed the order this morning, though.
I meant the manner in which it will be filed will not be made public.
Okay. All right. Which copy's been given to Mr. Copeland? The order pursuant. All right. All right. Do we have extra copies of that? Mr. Copeland, I'm going to mark this as the next court's exhibit in order, okay? Mr. Copeland, can you take a look at that order for me, please, sir? All right, let's just go through it right quick, okay? I just want to make sure that you understand where you are and you have your attorney here. And if you have questions of the court or your counsel, you can go ahead and do that, okay? All right? You have to answer yes or no, sir.
All right.
Okay, all right. I'm not trying to trick you. I'm not trying to do anything other than explain this to you, all right?
Okay.
Okay, all right. Mr. Copeland, this order reads basically, the state of Georgia has moved the court pursuant to this particular statute, which is 24-5-507, to compel your testimony, and our district attorney, Ms. Willis, having determined that your testimony is materially as necessary to the public interest. And that is, and if you take a look at the footnote, sir, I'm sure your attorney's probably explained this to you, that she has the purview of determining whether or not your testimony is needed for a particular trial. I don't even have that authority. Your attorney doesn't have that authority. You can't decide that maybe it's not really necessary. She makes that decision. So, and it's in the public interest. So you've been subpoenaed in this case to appear before and give testimony in this particular matter. And state has provided the court sufficient reasons as to why you are necessary as a witness in this case. It appears that you've been properly subpoenaed to appear as a witness in this case, and that your testimony is necessary in the public interest. So that's how we, as a due process, gets you to come to court. I mean, you were noticed as a witness. They've identified you as a witness. They've determined that your testimony is needed. Because of the fact that you have some concerns about what your testimony may indicate or could indicate in this case, and that's something that you and your counsel have talked about, and I'm not certainly going to inquire about that. But in order to potentially deal with anything that may come out of that, the state is basically, knowing that you have a Fifth Amendment privilege, says, okay, we acknowledge that. We're going to give you immunity. And as a result of that, then you have to testify as a result of that. If you don't testify, then I, as the judge in this case, have several remedies. One of those is that I could hold you in contempt and jail you because the way that you get out of that contempt is to just testify. That's the only thing they wanted in this case for you to testify. So your attorneys told me you're going to invoke your Fifth Amendment privilege. Done, said. However, the immunity has been signed. I have a copy of that right now. So you're required to testify. So if you don't testify, the state's probably going to ask me to jail you. And I'm probably going to do that. So I'd like you to go ahead out and talk with your lawyer and tell me what you want to do at that point in time, okay?
Do you need any more time to talk, Mr. Copeland? Okay. What is your desire at this time?
I'm taking the fifth.
Okay, you've taken the fifth, but you've got immunity, but you still want to, are you going to testify? That's the thing.
That's the question.
That's the question on the floor. I've acknowledged the fact you have a Fifth Amendment privilege, but the state's given you immunity, so that overrides that Fifth Amendment privilege. They require you to testify.
Yeah, but the state don't know what they're talking about. So if they ask me a question that implicate me, then...
Okay, they can't prosecute you on that. They can't. The order prohibits them from allowing them to use that testimony against you. That's what your lawyer, and I'm not going to get into any of the machinations or intricacies of what may or may not have happened in this case, but Mr. Melnick is a very seasoned criminal defense attorney. I've seen him over the past 2 decades. I'm sure that he's probably given you very, very good advice, but the state can't use that testimony. They can't kind of say, have it both ways, like you testify and then use that against you to indict you and prosecute you. Then we wouldn't have any faith that we need to have people come in and give testimony. So that's why they can't do that. They kind of can't go back on what they're going to tell you, So I signed the order. Now they've asked for immunity. I've signed the order. So basically, whatever you have to tell us, you'll tell us.
Say no more.
Okay, so we all heard that boy say no more. So we think he about to go ahead and spill the beans. But the crazy exchange happened. So the judge was getting ready to bring the jury back in, but then Woody realized he funked up. Check this out right here, bro.
Do you wish to testify, Mr. Copeland? Is that no? You have to say no on the record.
Say it again.
Do you wish to testify?
He said I can tell him whatever I got to tell him. So I testify.
You will testify.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Okay. What we're going to do in just a second is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call for our jurors. We'll formally administer the oath to you, and then the state will ask you some questions, okay? And then you'll be cross-examined at some point in time by potentially
some... my attorney before, because I think I just said the wrong thing.
Sure. I'll tell you what. Why don't you step outside and talk to Mr. Melnick?
Alright, so after speaking to his lawyers and everything, all that good shit, I think he spoke to the prosecutors as well. So Woody still came back in and said he would testify. But that's when shit got wild.
All right, sir. What's your pleasure?
Say what?
I said, what's your pleasure, sir? Do you wish to give testimony? I know you don't want to give testimony in this case, but you've been given immunity in this particular circumstance, use immunity. So, are you going to testify?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right, sir. Then what we'll do at this point in time is we'll call for our jurors and we'll swear you in, and we'll go ahead and take your testimony. Okay.
All right.
All right. All right, Mr. Copeland, go ahead and approach the witness stand. Before you sit down, if you would turn and face Deputy Hand and be sworn as a witness.
You swear affirm testimony to everybody get according to the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, help.
Yes.
Maybe see you state your first and last name with the spelling of both, please.
You say that again?
State your first and last name with the spelling of both, please.
Kenneth Copeland.
Mr. Copeland, do me a favor, pull your chair up as close as you can to the microphone and speak directly into it so we can all hear you. So if you could state and spell your first and last name for the record, please.
Kenneth Copeland.
Spell it, please.
KENNETHCOPELAND.
All right, thank you, sir. All right.
And Mr. Copeland, good afternoon. Do you want to be here?
Ma'am,
Do you want to be here?
I'm here.
Okay. Are you going to let me ask you some questions?
Okay.
How old are you?
Grown.
Okay, what does grown mean?
I'm an adult.
Okay. And when you say you're an adult, what number in years are you?
I plead the fifth.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I get you to step outside to your headquarters of jury deliberation, please? From
All right, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Our jury has left us. Mr. Copeland, given the fact that you have invoked your Fifth Amendment privilege, but the state has already given you immunity under 24-5-507, this court holds you in willful contempt, and we'll see you on Monday. And we'll see if we can get some more testimony at that point in time. Take him into custody.
So that boy trying to stand on business, huh? Okay. Now, I think honestly that, he was trying to be on some cute shit and trying to play the prosecutor, but to keep it G, I don't think he's smart enough for that shit. I don't think he's smart enough, you feel me? I think he could have answered those silly questions, but he wanted to have any dignity that he had left in front of his YSL boys and that tough. But Woody, my boy, it's too late. It's way too late, my boy. You're the star witness, and everyone who cares about this shit done seen you. Everybody and their mama done seen you in these viral videos telling folks what they wanted to hear for years. See, the reason why they wanted Woody to testify is without him, they seem to not have much of a case because he was supposed to string together many of their theories. Listen to the state speak after the judge asked them, okay, if it ain't gonna be Woody, who's gonna be your next witness? They don't know what the hell they gonna do.
Ms. Lovett and Ms. Hilton and Mr. Atkins, who is going to be called? Let's assume that Mr. Copeland invokes again.
Your Honor,
Do you have some other witnesses that we can take up at that point?
Your Honor, we will apprise after we look at and reevaluate where we are, because our order of proof was building blocks that at this point began with Mr. Copeland. And there are certain things that have to take place before we can tell them anything. So
Okay.
we have to do that. We have to deal with that and where we are right now.
All right.
And that's just where we are.
Okay.
Okay, so if you ever missed it, here goes a little snippet. A little bit of what Woody was giving them, the information, the goods that he was giving them in the past.
How can I help myself? Yes, I'm asking.
Like I said, we can't, Woody, I can't make it any
So
clearer.
that's this 20.
No, it's not pointless. Like I said, we'll communicate. What I'm saying is I can't offer you anything. Investigator Flores can't offer you anything. We can let the district attorney's office know and down there that you were cooperative.
The information I had, they want to hear right now.
I mean, we can pass it to
I'm
them.
saying you can pass it to them. I'm thinking something gonna happen today.
What's gonna happen?
What's gonna happen?
Somebody's supposed to get killed tonight.
Who?
You know
I don't know who. There's so much going on in the city. I don't know who you're gonna have to.
This is a murder that's about to take place with some very high people, and the stuff that I know right now. I mean, she'll be able to help me get out of my situation.
So every
I
day.
can tell y'all this much right here. I know the people who's gonna go do it. I can give it time when they gonna go do it. So y'all can catch them in the act. I know.
Who's the target?
One guess.
I mean, Lucci's locked up.
Shell Kelly.
So how?
She's always been tight.
Who?
Kelly.
Who's always been tight?
Shell Kelly.
And who?
He's this man. He's obsessed with this guy. He won. This is as much as I can say. Cause y'all already taken.
Wait, you're like, ooh, I'm gonna get lost. You said who's tight with Shell? No, your friend's not here. Nobody can hear you. Like your friend's not here. We moved him for that
Yeah,
purpose.
but the person y'all just think that I just tell me anything. He wants him. He want him as bad.
So you're talking about Jeffrey.
But the one thing I do know you can call someone on their phone and they hear what I have to say. And I can call this person right here in y'all face with a better background and let y'all hear and see his face tell me how they plan on doing this. Or
Call who?
the person who I'm talking about. I care for him and I hate I'm doing it to him, but
Who?
I don't think.
I'm not gonna say
You know so many
pretty
people.
sure
I don't know.
this somebody who close to me.
Is it Young Thug?
I didn't say no name.
Hold on.
What time it is?
7:04.
If I could be released before 11 to 12 o'clock, to show you how serious I am, I could be released. Let people can see me and Money coming out of jail together. The city jail for whatever. Y'all can be right there to see me meet up with them and discuss it. Well, however y'all want to take it by then, y'all see where Cuddy ran in, y'all can catch them in the act. Y'all can do that. Right now, this nigga here is so smart that he moving different. It's hard to keep up with how he moving.
What do you mean?
So he not moving how
He
used to move.
Reckless.
He moved different. But he want this nigga so bad that he's back reckless.
Why he want him so bad?
Cause I can give you everybody's name. I give you the cards that I know. Or like I said, I don't know what cards they're gonna use because the card, they don't have a hot card up on my knowledge right now, but most likely, like I said, I can meet up with them right before they do it. Y'all
That
can be right
puts you
there.
in too much danger? We can't do
No,
that.
no.
That we have to rethink a plan. They're not gonna do that.
Okay.
Because if God forbid something happens to you, it's on us.
No, it's different because they trust me. They trust me. Even with the situation with me and Thug, we both look at each other sideways when we around. But he still do this a lot. And I just look at him like, he's still stupid. You know what I mean? Like, you rich, why would you be stupid? That's why I get away from him. I get away from him. That's why you never see me post. I don't know, I mean, I just hate being around. But the truth is, these niggas right here, you can sit right here. They wouldn't even look your way. You can sit right there at, let's say 656. You could be sitting right there, and they would come in, and they go talk to me right there while you right there.
Boy, save yourself, huh? Nah, like I said when I was covering the Bun B situation, I really don't care about a civilian telling people what's going on, especially if someone did something to them. I don't give a damn about that. But if you are participating in some crimes and to get less time, you go ahead and, drop the dime on your boys, I don't fuck with that shit. I feel like you're a coward. I'm not trying to be on no tough man gangster shit. That's not my thing. But my thing is, as a man, you need to stand on what the hell you did. And don't take down other people with you. But I do hear that they say there's no honor amongst thieves. But we gonna see how things gonna go without him. But look, that wasn't it though. That wasn't it. Even though they locked Woody up, you feel me? They also made sure that he's gonna be kept separate from other inmates. Shit got really real. Really real. Cause Young Thug's lawyer's like, hey dawg, we knew he wasn't going to testify. The prosecutors knew he wasn't going to testify. Outside, he told them, everyone heard him saying, I'd rather go to jail, but you still put him on a stand in front of the jury, and the jury has heard this man's name being implicated in murders. Very, very dangerous crimes. And for him to get on the stand and say, I plead the fifth, it poisons them. Listen to what Brian Steele has to say right here.
Mr. Steele, I'll entertain it right now. I didn't want to hold the jury, but it'll be fine. And what's the basis for your mistrial? We didn't know he was going to invoke. We didn't know what he was going to testify to, and I certainly didn't let him. He was only asked one question. So at this point in time, there's really, I mean, you can't knowingly let a witness invoke their Fifth Amendment privilege in front of a jury, but that didn't happen in this case. Last thing we heard from Mr. Copeland was he was going to testify.
So everything you say, I'll adopt, because I was about to say those words. Based upon information belief, I'd like to call witnesses from the prosecution. I was told, I do not have the personal information, but I was told that Mr. Copeland made that known to officers of the prosecution team prior to being called right now.
But it's what I was told. I mean, the last thing the court knew, and he has counsel.
If a party knows that a witness is going to invoke the Fifth Amendment in front of a jury, which poisons us, I mean, there's no doubt it prejudices Mr. Williams et al., all of them, because this trial's been going on now, I believe, 8 months in front of a jury, and they've heard Mr. Copeland's name however many times a court reporter says.
Casey, that's what we've heard.
No, so the jurors have heard Kenneth Copeland.
And as well, okay.
I opened on him that he's the killer. We cross-examined all these witnesses about Kenneth Copeland. The state talked about Kenneth Copeland. My point is, if this honorable court finds that the state knew or had reason to believe that he was going to do this in front of a jury, that his response was going to be, I'm invoking the Fifth Amendment, then, Your Honor, yes, I adopt what you said. That's wrong of a party, and I'm moving for mistrial.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, sir. Thank you. All right. Yes, sir. It would apply to everyone. Yes, Ms. Love.
Your Honor, I'd just like to put some things on the record regarding Mr. Copeland. As we stated earlier, Mr. Copeland has...
I don't want to interrupt you. Your Honor, I'm just telling the court I am not accepting the proffer.
Your Honor, if I may...
Okay, but counsel gets the proffer, Mr. Steele. I can accept that. So could you sit down at that time, sir?
Sit down.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, Ms. Love, you can complete your proffer at this point.
Your Honor, yes. Just to relate to the court the observations that members of our office have made throughout the course of this morning and throughout the time that we've been dealing with Mr. Copeland. Our cause for concern is Mr. Copeland's communication that he is going to us, that he is going to speak, that he is going to speak on the stand, that he is going to testify, and watching what happens when Mr. Copeland gets on the stand. Mr. Copeland did not want to have to be taken into custody. The court gave him the opportunity to have present in court with him someone who is supposed to be representing his best interests. What we have seen is communication, both verbal and nonverbal, between Mr. Copeland's supposed counsel and counsel for defendants. And a look as if I tried from Mr. Copeland's supposed counsel in the direction of counsel for the defendants after Mr. Melnick attempted to assert for Mr. Copeland. May I finish?
Let her finish, Mr. Melnick. Please sit down. I'll let you start. Okay? All right. Thank you, sir.
While Mr. Copeland is on the stand stating that he wants to testify, that he will testify rather. So we are watching, and Mr. Melnick, I believe it may even be captured on film. The court can look at it. Mr. Melnick turns to the direction of counsel for the defendants and motions like, that's it. Then, upon information and belief, as we are standing out waiting for the jury to come in, Mr. Copeland requests to speak with counsel for the state, but Mr. Melnick keeps walking in. Then, as
Does he at any
Mr.
point in time tell you?
Copeland-
Does he at any point in time tell you I'm not going to testify? I'm invoke the Fifth Amendment.
No, as what happens as Mr. Copeland requested to speak with the state, Mr. Melnick keeps going in regardless of Mr. Copeland's request to speak with the state. And then we learn that Mr. Melnick tells Mr. Copeland they are going to hammer you. So Ms. Hilton comes back in and asks me, had I spoken with Mr. Melnick? Had I told him that we are going to hammer Mr. Copeland? The state had not made any such communication with anybody. So what we are seeing, we believe, is tampering with witnesses, this particular witness on the part of people who are not the state. So we are concerned. I don't know that Mr. Copeland's interest is being represented when that interest may not be in alignment with the people that Mr. Melnick is communicating with on breaks. And after Mr. Copeland has communicated to this court, he will testify. So watching the goings on as Mr. Copeland is not on the stand, it has been publicized. It has been hyped up that Mr. Copeland is the next witness. Mr. Copeland is the witness. And then Mr. Copeland, he's been nothing but cordial. He's been nothing but communicative with Ms. Hilton during the time that she has been interviewing him and speaking with him. And the reason Ms. Hilton was not in here just now when the jury came out is that Mr. Copeland asked to speak with Ms. Hilton. But Mr. Melnick kept going back in there and going back in there and going back in there. And the reason that we have a problem with this is that Mr. Copeland is not facing any charges. For Mr. Melnick to suggest or say to him that we're going to hammer him, it causes us to call into question whose interests he's representing. And so we would ask that, you know, what I haven't even thought of in my mind an appropriate remedy at this point, because it is wrong for parties to inject themselves on behalf of purportedly one person. And I don't know, I guess they're, I don't know what's going on, but I can say that this entire day, starting from the point at which Mr. Melnick is invoking Mr. Copeland's Fifth Amendment right after Mr. Copeland has said he's going to testify, has gone a little off rails, and it's a little bit concerning. So, Your Honor, as to this motion for a mistrial, we would argue that it's caused by actions on the part of people other than the state, that Mr. Copeland got here and said what he did. So we will continue to speak with Mr. Copeland because Mr. Copeland doesn't have any charges that are open. If he asks to speak with us, which he has, we'll go and speak with him. And I'm not even certain what is going on behind me with respect to persons who are purporting to represent the best interest of Mr. Copeland. But it would appear to me that Mr. Copeland's best interest would be served by Mr. Copeland not being inside the Fulton County Jail. But that's just my opinion. So, Your Honor, I would ask that the court deny the motion for a mistrial at the very least. And if it goes any further, find that actions by people other than the state have led to us being where we are, because Mr. Copeland was at the point right before lunch of agreeing to testify. That is the reason we were ready to get started right before lunch, because now he's been told he's going to be hammered by his attorney. I guess he told him that I guess the state's going to hammer him. I don't even know what, but Ms. Hilton has gone over the questions that she has for Mr. Copeland. She has spoken with him about it. They have been speaking cordially with one another. And this idea that somehow someone is entitled to a mistrial as a result of this action on the part of Mr. Copeland is a farce under these circumstances. We'd ask that the court deny the motion.
All right, now Woody's lawyer then chimes in after being accused of cooperating with the other YSL lawyers to get Woody not to snitch. And another defense attorney, David Bott, says that he also witnessed Woody says that he'd rather go to jail than tell.
And for an assertion to be made that I or Mr. Copeland are somehow being influenced by somebody over here is absolutely ridiculous. I take great offense to it, and I can tell Ms. Love that I am going to the state bar to report her for contacting a witness that she knows to be represented by counsel. She and I have had conversations about Kenneth Copeland.
I know that they did know that he was going to take the fifth, because I heard it said outside right before I walked into court. I even said, the officer.
Then why didn't you, as an officer of the court, tell me before we took his testimony?
I told Mr. Steele.
No. Why didn't you, as an officer of this court, tell me?
Well, then that's my.
I got a problem with you now.
Well, that's fine. I mean.
I got a problem with you now.
Well.
I would suggest you don't say any more.
I've already said it.
I know that, sir. And the problem is, you should have told me. If that were your case, then you've just made an argument we didn't even need to have, because I could have certainly asked him based upon your proffer. Now you want to have it both ways. You can't do that.
Your Honor, I thought the state knew that,
and that's not what the point is. The point is, you as an advocate, is you should have told me. Both sides have an equal responsibility under the rules of professional responsibility.
Okay, as long as we're both responsible, that's fine.
All right, have a seat, sir. Thank you.
Man, this whole trial has been crazy. The judge been snapping and shit. Like, even the guy, that wasn't even the only exchange, bro. Young Thug's lawyer Brian Steele went off on the judge once again because he says, you know, you've been doing me dirty in front of the jury, man.
Sir.
You allow another moment when Miss Love calls me that I did not do something. They have the exact image of what we got from the jail in Fayette County. That is it. And if I get another false allegation and you do nothing, I'm shocked. I'm appalled at you. I sit here day after day with this false allegation just machine. I gave the state everything. There's been no construction. There's been no purposeful. I don't care. I give over everything. I've done this for 33 years. Never in my life have I seen a trial. I've done 300 appeals in the state of Georgia alone. I've never read a case like this. Judge, I gave them everything I had. I waited. I was at my office till 8, after 8 last night. I waited for their investigator to come by. I handed him an exact copy of thumb drive. They have everything that we got from the Fayette County Jail. There's been no deconstruction. There's been no purposeful exclusion. This is not the first time.
Okay.
And I apologize that I'm getting tempered, but I've never been treated like this. You talk about professionalism every week. Professionalism is lacking with one lawyer here. It has never been. I don't even like coming to court. I used to love this. I would die for what we do. I used to say, I'm dying. I would die. I couldn't choose a better profession. If I had litigated with Miss Love, I would.
Your Honor, could we strike the ad hominem attack?
No, I'm speaking.
Really, could we strike
Hey, everybody, calm down. Everybody, both of you, please be seated.
Judge, I'm not
Both
done.
of you, please be seated.
You have to do something. You have threatened me with contempt. You have threatened me with jail. If you go back in time, we can just start in voir dire. Jury after jury, you did individual voir dire painfully. Miss Love would come in and say that juror was crying. It was not true. You would say, that's not my recollection after I said it. You did nothing. We start the case.
But Mr. Steele.
I asked you, please.
Mr. Steele.
Please, Judge, how would you feel if you were being treated
Mr.
like
Steele.
this?
Mr.
Well,
Steele.
I'd like to finish.
Mr. Steele.
I gave them everything on that drive, and it's continual abuse of a prosecutor, of another member of the bar. I don't talk with Miss Love. And that's fine. I like that. But Judge, I'm not going to stand here anymore. I don't care. You can take my bar card.
Mr. Steele, listen.
Wrong, though.
But they're...
And Mr. Williams, you know, to me, this is an innocent man. You talk about, Miss Love said there's a man in the Fulton County Jail who shouldn't be there, Mr. Copeland. Mr. Williams shouldn't be in custody. But he's been charged, and we come here for a fair trial. It's been everything but that, according to Miss Love has tried to demonize me. At times, Mr. Adams. At times, Mr. Shaw.
I object to
Now
the ad
it's
hominem
Mr.
attacks, and I ask for
all
restricted.
because she wants to
Again,
win the
for the
case. And now she speaks over people. It's not right. I gave them everything. And by the way, and what I want to tell you, by the way, it's not even the law. If they call that gentleman on direct, I don't have to give them anything before trial. I do it because you asked me to. You said, listen, we got a big case. It's going to take a long time. Give them things. I gave this, by this way, to the state October of 2023. October 2023, that was uploaded, given to the state. I hear about it now, and I wait there and I give them the exact duplicate of what we have. And now there's a false allegation of misconduct. And what I'm telling the court is what I said again. I do not appreciate it. And you have told it in front of the jury that I'm unprofessional. You were wrong. You based that on Miss Love's false representation.
Your Honor, again, the ad hominem attacks, Your Honor. I object, and he should stop talking when I
Miss Love can
object.
try to silence me. I will not be silenced.
But Mr. Steele, here's the thing, okay? I think that, Mr. Steele, please be quiet at this point in time. You made your point. You made your point at this point in time. Both of you, please be seated.
I don't know what the hell the outcome will be, but I'm sure that the jury is exhausted. I don't know, man. But y'all gotta let me know what y'all gotta say in the comment section below. I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, though. This has been another update with Stace. Yo.